will be under some pressure, but I'm not going to put her under it, because we would like to have an opportunity for an interactive dialogue, some questions. But it's Miss Krystal Boyea, and she's going to address us on the topic of living the life, the youth's perspective. Ms. Boyea currently works as a research assistant in the Chronic Disease Research Center at the University of the West Indies, and as the membership coordinator of the Healthy Caribbean Coalition in Barbados. HCC is a civil society alliance to combat chronic diseases that was established following the Caribbean Summit on NCDs in 2007. She's passionate to make a difference with people affected by chronic diseases, particularly diabetes, having been personally affected herself. She was named ambassador to the youth at the Diabetes Association of Barbados and elected to attend the first ever Youth Leaders in Diabetes program held by the International Diabetes Federation in Dubai. It was here that she was elected to be one of 2 youth regional representatives for the North American and Caribbean region. Krystal holds a bachelor's degree in environmental science and geology from the University of Toronto and looks forward to pursuing her master's degree in public health this September. Ms. Boyea, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone. My name is Krystal Boyea, as was said just now. I'm 25 years old. I have type 1 diabetes, and I'm here to tell you my story and what it has been like for me living with diabetes. I was diagnosed on the morning of January 18, 1998, just 1 month shy of my 11th birthday. I went to the doctor for what I thought was a regular checkup, but it turned out that this day was the day that would change my childhood as I knew it. In the months prior to my diagnosis, I had the typical diabetes symptoms. I was tired, listless, lost a lot of weight, had frequent urination, and extreme thirst. I was immediately rushed to our local hospital in Barbados, where I was educated about how to manage my disease. And from what I can remember during this time, I was very calm. "You will have to take daily injections," said the nurse. "Okay," I replied. "You would need to eat healthy and exercise as well," she said. "Okay," I replied. "I will do whatever I need to do to cure this disease," I exclaimed, because I thought, I could cure it and then leave the hospital. But little did I know that the routine she was giving me would be my daily routine for life. If you knew me as a child, I was very active, outgoing, athletic, friendly, and had an overall joy for life. Growing up with diabetes was not easy, and I struggled in many ways. At school, high and low blood sugars seemed to control my life, and as a result, I did not perform to my full potential. I eventually repeated my 4th form year due to being in the sick room almost every day, and to make it worse, my teachers thought I was faking. Okay. Sigh. Well, my teacher. I went on to do moderately well RCXC examinations and went to the Queen's College School. Here I studied biology, geography, and environmental science, and eventually ended up at the University of Toronto and graduated with a degree in environmental sciences. Although I am proud of all of these accomplishments, every step of the way there was struggle. Struggle to stay on top of schoolwork, take part in extracurricular activities, and manage a disease that is almost like a full-time job. That's the thing about having a chronic illness. Life does not wait or give you an easier path to follow because of it. When you step out into the world of work or school, you are judged equally. At home, I often felt like I would compare myself to my other family members, especially my younger sister Kayla. Why me? Why did diabetes pick me? This often led to lower self-esteem and sometimes even depression. And to my sister, I know on her end, it left her feeling abandoned. My struggles often took away the attention she needed growing up. Being a burden. Are all of my health struggles an inconvenience to my parents? Am I too much of an expense? Going out with friends. I often would try to hide the fact that I was diabetic. I felt like if my childhood acquaintances knew, they would not want to be my friends. I felt like I had to work harder, be funnier, and be nicer, and tell funnier jokes just to be on the same level as everybody else. Exercise. I knew this was important, but how am I supposed to do it if my sugar levels keep dropping? Fear of sleeping. Frequent low blood sugars, known as the dawn phenomenon, used to haunt me in the middle of the night. I would often have to make a journey to the kitchen for some food to bring my sugar levels up. I would tiptoe as soft as I could. I didn't want to wake the rest of my family. I tried to hide what I was going through, and my worst fear, would I even wake up? Fear of getting a general cold or sickness. I struggled to keep my sugar stable on top of life's demands. Sickness just made them go even more haywire. Fear of being accepted. Would people see me first as a diabetic and then as Krystal? Eating out. How am I supposed to count the number of carbohydrates in this meal if I didn't even cook it? I know that it's spaghetti, but did the chef use honey in his secret sauce? Taking my medication. Many people have needle or blood phobia, so I'd often sneak off into the bathroom just to take my meds when the food arrived. Upon my return, not only would my food be cold, but everyone else at the table has already finished eating. Could I feel more different? This and much more led to an eventual loss of confidence. It happened so gradually, I myself didn't even know it was going on. If you asked me, I thought I was managing my diabetes perfectly, and if you looked at the numbers, I was, but if you looked at my heart, I wasn't. In January of 2012, I signed up for this inspirational course, and I really think that that's where my outlook on life changed. A course called You're Designed to Shine, and it taught me that God designed you to shine no matter who you are, where you've been, or where you're about to go. He has a plan for you. And here, I kind of figured that I had been given diabetes for a reason, and I'm to use it in everything that I have learned from it to be an inspiration for other people around me, for other youth who don't have anyone to look up to or understand, or talk to that will truly understand. And I started to take control of my life from this point. I moved from 4 injections daily to the new Omnipod insulin pump, which is a small device that I wear on my back, arm, or stomach. And it constantly provides me with insulin. And when I first went on this, my immediate thought was, life was going to get easier. I no longer had to take daily injections. I just changed the site of my pump every 3 days and count the number of carbohydrates in my meal, and voila! However, in my initial months on the pump, people often laughed, stared, and even approached me to tell me how ugly it was. Great. Another struggle. This was ridiculous. It was time for me to get up and be the change. I immediately went to the Diabetes Association of Barbados to offer whatever volunteer services I could. I was there almost every day, helping all kinds of people with both type 1 and type 2 diabetes, and also putting a lot of focus on the youth. I soon became the head coordinator for their summer camp for children with diabetes, Camp Pride, did a number of home visits, school talks, and various speeches with the intention to educate, encourage, and support all youth with diabetes in Barbados and by extent the Caribbean. I was then sent to Dubai, where I was elected to be one of 2 youth regional representatives for diabetes for the North American and Caribbean region. And it was here that my passion and purpose in life became evident. I, at that moment, made diabetes and chronic diseases my career. And through my interaction with diabetic youth of all ages, I have noticed the same issues that I faced growing up, they all face, and more. The average young person with diabetes only administers 2 injections daily in Barbados and the Caribbean. This is a control method that they removed from the US and Canadian system years ago. In order to be properly managed, 4 injections a day are recommended. However, in order to achieve this, many things need to change first. The mentality of the people. They need to want to do what's best for themselves, regardless of the short-term pain it brings. The school system. If a child is too young to administer their medication at school, they would need help from a nurse, except none of the public schools in Barbados have nurses. Supply of insulin. The insulin which is needed for more multiple administration is not available on the formulary, causing families to have to choose between better insulin, which is more expensive, and the cheaper kind so they can have more pocket money. Unfortunately, in my case, type 1 diabetes cannot be prevented or cured as yet. And therefore, my behavior when I was pre-diagnosed could not have changed the inevitable. However, my behavior and lifestyle now that I have been diagnosed can significantly impact my future. I therefore would like to encourage all young people who are affected by a non-communicable disease. Whether you are personally affected or know someone who is, you have one life to live, and you need to live it as best you can. Make the right decision today. Brett Michaels, Mary Tyler Moore, Halle Berry, Nick Jonas, and Anne Rice are all huge role models here in the United States. And what do they all have in common with me? They all have type 1 diabetes. I truly believe that the young people of the Caribbean can be role models for the rest of the world, and I am willing to start the trend by being the face of NCDs and go out and motivate and encourage all affected youth to become more active, to develop a regional website where people with NCDs can meet friends, chat, share experiences, and talk to experts, to work with each Caribbean island to develop their youth arms, and for the region to work together as a team, to have a biannual, motivational, educational, team-building and leadership conference for youth similar to the one I attended in Dubai. To close, I would like to thank PAHO, the Diabetes Association, and the Healthy Caribbean Coalition for providing me with the opportunity to speak at this forum. I look forward to working with the WHO, PAHO, and the CARICOM Secretariat in executing my ideas. Thank you.
How do you follow that? Live and in color, living with diabetes. For us policy makers to see, and the positive approach that comes with it. I don't think I can say anything else more about that contribution. At this point,